I guess kind of, first and foremost out of the bat, what are your first impressions of, getting the season rolling? You guys are, actually officially practicing now. Kind of, what are your first impressions of the team at this point in the year?
We've been together for a while now, since August, and after the Christmas break, being able to come back, we came back I think December 31st, and it's been really good since we came back. I think they're just excited to play. I mean, we haven't played a game since the middle of November of 2019, which a lot of sports are in the same boat. So we've had some good practices this week, some high intensity things. I think our mini sessions and practices are going really well, and that's translating over to our 6-on-6 work. So really excited about where we are. I have no idea what to expect, and I'm sure most coaches would say the same thing. We're going to be pretty game rusty when we get to NDSU on Friday, but we're ready to compete and we're ready to get after it. So I'm excited where we are right now.
Hey, Coach, just to start off against NDSU, just how unique is that in a year like this?
It's really unique. I mean, it was, we talked to a few other teams, and then Jen and I talked, and we're like, it just makes sense right now. I mean, the priority of this year is to get in our matches and keep our kids healthy and safe. Maybe not necessarily in that order. And it just made sense. They're coming to play us in March. Let's just go play down there and give each other a home series against them. Good for our fans, good for their fans if they're allowed to be there. So it was super easy. We set it up in 2 days, and just a good way to start our season with a friendly rivalry.
Coach, what will fans see in terms of the last time they saw UND volleyball and then this time they saw UND volleyball? How's kind of the makeup of what you guys have going? What's that look like now?
Sure. Yeah. Last year we were pretty right side heavy with Ashley Brueggemann, great player for us. A lot of our offense ran through her. This year we didn't have that one type of all conference player. And so coming back. And so for us, how do we make our team better? And so all throughout the fall, or all through last spring and all throughout the fall, we've just gone tempo, 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 tempo. And our sets are now extremely fast. Just as a comparison, the U.S. national team, we're about 1/10 of a second off of their speed with our sets to the outside. So we're trying to go really fast, trying to use our athleticism to catch teams off balance a little bit. And so you're going to see a fast offense and a diverse offense, not just running the same thing every time. That's been our main focus going in. So that's going to be good. And then the second thing that we really worked on is we changed our blocking scheme completely. So you're going to see some more dynamic swing blocking. It's going to allow us to use our athleticism a little bit more. So 2 big changes. Will look a lot different than we did last year, but in a positive way.
When your last game, you mentioned that was November of 2019. Kind of, how do you go about shaking off game rust? Because you can practice forever, but a game's an entirely different.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, we brainstorm what can we do to just give our team any sort of preparation. So throughout the fall, every other Saturday, we tried to play a full scrimmage, get the jerseys on, go through pregame, do something. And that allowed us to compete, and they were excited to do that. That's about as close as we could get to some real game stuff. And so hopefully that's going to translate a little bit. The good news is whether it takes 1 point, 2 points, or 5 points, once you get in there, volleyball's volleyball. And it's stuff that they've played since they were 12, if not earlier. I mean, the net's the same height, the court's the same dimensions. I mean, most of the technique's the same on the other side. So, we've done everything we can. Thursday's practice tomorrow, we're going to go for an hour, and all we're playing is 6s, just trying to get them ready. So we're going to be prepared as best we can, but there ain't nothing like match day. And so hopefully it'll translate. But we won't find out till 1 o'clock on Friday.
What do you try to identify in that first series against NDSU?
We're gonna try and look at and see where's our chemistry. Who's connecting with who? Is this hitter connecting with this setter? What's working for us? Do we need to adjust our starting rotation and start in a different rotation? Things that's going to allow us to be successful the next week, because that's when conference play starts. And so these games are super important to find out just how's our communication with each other, especially when that pressure comes in, because we can't replicate game pressure in practice. We can try, but we can't. And so hopefully we're going to find out what happens when we're in high intensity situations, who's still communicating versus, who's more focused on, a technique thing versus making their teammates better. So we've done a good job of that so far. And our motto is challenge accepted, and they've accepted that challenge of making their teammates better. But that'll be the big thing we look at, is who's making each other better, when can we start, in what rotations, and who's connecting setter wise and hitter wise.
Yeah, how is this time away with the not having a fall season? How has it brought the team closer together?
You know, it's when you're away from everybody, like we were in the spring. Like they all left in the middle of March and we didn't see them again until summertime. When we get them back together and we're not traveling all over the place, it gives them more downtime. And they had that time to take care of their academics, which they did a fantastic job of. I think we had like a 3.6 GPA in the fall, which is great. But it also gives them time to do just some team stuff away from volleyball. And so sometimes when we travel, we can do that, but there's always a volleyball game in the background that we have to prepare for. We didn't have that this fall. And so they could do team only things. They did stuff, in the Betty, just different type of team stuff where coaches aren't allowed. They were able to, with COVID being still there, doing some things that allow them to get closer. We were able to do a team event last weekend and get them out of the gym and keep socially distant, but still build those relationships. So not traveling and having to prepare for volleyball matches every week has allowed them to take that pressure off and put that focus towards our culture. And our culture has improved a lot. So I wish we would have played in the fall, but I think we took advantage of it and we had a really successful fall that's led into this spring.